and today we're going to be looking at turning this kind of dark and dingy looking room into the shot that I use for the actual show. So here we have a bunch of stuff that I used to kind of set everything up, and I wanted to break everything down, so we're starting from scratch. I have the room lights on. This room eats up a lot of light, and we're just going to go through some of the things that I use and then start putting everything together. So we'll start from this side and work our way over. This first stand holds this little target here. This is what I use to kind of check my exposure and then focus. Since I don't have an operator with me, I need to do that to kind of make sure things are in focus before I start shooting. Next up, I've got a C-stand here. This is going to hold two lights, the Alzo 3000s, which are over here on this table, and we'll take a closer look at those in a second. And on that, I have a nano clamp from Manfrotto. Running off of that, I've got a monitor arm here, and this is where I'll mount the monitor so I can kind of see, you know, when I'm working with gear and showing you guys stuff, make sure everything's in frame and in focus and such. So that's that. We have a tiny stand right here. This is going to be for the background light. And for the background lights, I'm using two torch LEDs from Switchtronics. And we have another light stand here. This one's going to be considerably higher than the other one, and that's going to be the kind of hair rim light. And then over here, I've got another stand, a kind of heavy-duty stand with this guy, which I love. This is a deflector arm. And on one end, you have a weight, and then this thing extends out and has two clamps on it, which allow you to attach a deflector to a light stand and lets you kind of angle everything. So we'll take a closer look at that. And then behind me, over here, I've got the reflector, which is actually, I'm using the center part, which is my silk. We're going to be shooting two of those LED lights, the Alzo 3000s, through that using this. So this is mounted to a stand. If you want to learn more about what stands I use and like to have, I've done a video on that, so I'll link to that. And then finally at the end here, I've got another stand. This is a special stand. This is actually a boom stand, and this is what I use to set up the microphones to make sure I get that shotgun mic out of the shot, but I can get it, you know, just where I need it to get some clean audio. Then some sandbags to hold everything down. And then you'll notice right here on the floor, this green tape, this is the center of the shot. So this is where I stand at the table. This way when I get things focused and I move this out of the way, I can just stand here and I know I'm in the shot and I'm in focus. For the actual table, behind me, I have an IKEA tabletop. What's cool is you can go to IKEA and you can get all kinds of different sizes. You'll see over in the corner here, I've got another one I'm using as like a bench. So this is a gray one. I'm trying to remember the size exactly, not really remembering, but it's nice and deep. And these are really cheap. So you can get white, wood, gray like this. And then I have two, put this guy back here real quick. I've got two of these sawhorses also from IKEA. These are adjustable, so you can have a table, you know, sitting level or standing level. So I've got two of these guys. These are pretty affordable as well. So I have one on each end, and I put the tabletop over it. So now what I'm going to do is move all the stands out of the way, put the table up, and we'll start setting up our lighting. Okay, so I have the table completely set up. Now we're going to set up our lights. This is where I take my trusty little stand here that I use to focus, and I'm able to kind of get the light angles all correct. So let's start with the key. We'll walk over here. We've got a C-stand. I need to rotate this around here. And this is where we're going to mount our two lights. Like I said earlier, we're using Alzo 3000 lights, and these are very affordable when you consider what you get. So this is 3,000 watt output equivalent, and you can get this for around $300. So I have two of those suckers, which gives me a ton of light, and the more light the merrier, because we're going to be diffusing this light, so we want as much as possible to start with. So what I do is I mount both on the same stud here. So one like that, grab the other one here, and they have this really nice, pretty flexible mounting system, which allows you to mount both. Otherwise, this would be impossible if it was a different setup. So got this guy, mount it right above the first one. that. I'm going to angle them both down, and they have this nice ratcheting handles, which make this a lot easier than it looks. And so we're just going to do something like that. Take the caps off. There's a quick release. Keep your little glass fixture as well as the actual LED diode or LED cluster safe. So there we have it. I'm gonna kind of deal with my cords here. And to power all this, in a previous video I talked about this guy right here. It's a really awesome power strip splitter octopus thing. This makes it really nice to use power without having to deal with nasty bricks and things getting in the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug that in and get both of these lights hooked up, like so. And now what we want to do is get the height correct on these. So we're gonna bring it nice and high. Make sure I'm kind of diffuser. Like I talked about earlier, I use this killer reflector holder, and you can see here I've got it all set up. It takes a little while to get set up, but once you get used to it, it's not bad. So you can see here I have it all set up. I got the weight on this end, and it's awesome because on the stand you can rotate the angle. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab our next stand. Gonna position this where I need it. Drop it down. Tighten down the reflector holder. And raise that up. This is a pretty cheap stand. This is like a $40 stand. Really heavy duty, air cushioned. It's pretty nice. And what I'm gonna do now is bring everything in, because we gotta get, this is the tricky part. We have to get the shot, so we can't have this stinking diffuser in the shot. We also have to get the light as close to the front as possible. So I'm gonna move this other stand out of the way a little bit. Kind of play with things, something like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and power up the lights. There we go, so that's pretty good. So I'll fine tune this later, but that's the key setup. So we have our diffuser, the two lights. That's gonna give me plenty of soft light. So now we're gonna deal with the rim light and the background light. This is background light first. And so I have right here the torch LED panel. So it's a really simple, really nice and small setup. I have a ball head going down to a wrap baby, and that lets me easily adjust this light. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it on our light stand. Get this puppy roughly oriented. Turn it on. And you also have to make sure it's out of the shot, something like that, and then you play with the levels to get that right. So that's that light. Next light is the hair light. I've got another stand over here. Same kind of setup on this one. Position this all the way in the corner. And angle that down. Again, we're aiming for, that's good right there. It's really bright though. Something like that. Now we have all three lights set up, and at this point I'm going to fine tune it a little bit, and then we're going to get the boom mic setup all prepared, and then I'm going to show you where my sticks go, what is on the camera, how do I run audio, and all that good stuff. Okay, so this is what the final setup looks like, and I'm going to go ahead and cut to the GH4, which is what I used to shoot this, and you can see everything's looking pretty good. I got to get this out of here. Set that over here. And this is kind of what the final shot looks like. And so now we're going to talk a little bit about audio and some of the finishing touches to the setup. So here I have a Rode NTG2 mounted to this impact boom arm. This is fantastic because, as you can see, you can have a stand off to the side, run the mic over, and the lens setup is long enough to where even though the mic ends right about here, it's just out of the shot. So great tool. I use this thing all the time. And in front of the microphone, I run an XLR over toward the camera, and I have a JuiceLink preamp, the RA222, hooked up on a Dinkum Systems arm, and then the XLR goes into the box. I have the JuiceLink set to split that to the left and right, then that gets fed into the GH4, and that gives me a nice juicy signal going into the GH4, so the GH4 preamps don't have to do a lot of work. So that's audio. It's pretty simple. You know, I can monitor and change it from there. I also have right over here a small HD monitor, and that is allowing me to see clearly what is in the shot, and I can, you know, see what's going on here and actually in the shot interact with whatever the product is, make sure I don't go out of the shot or into the shot with certain things, and I can also see my audio levels, which is really helpful. And as for these sticks, I'm using a Benro tripod, and what I've done is I've went ahead and marked on the floor with green spike tape where the sticks are to go, because often what will happen is I need to go on a shoot, so all this stuff gets packed up, so I know exactly where the camera goes. I've also written down the entire setup so I can duplicate it over and over, so I know exactly how high the camera needs to be, how far from the table it needs to be. You know, it's at 35 millimeters, at f4 with these settings, with this light. So that's a quick look at how I make this room turn into the studio and how I set the lighting and the audio. Pretty straightforward, and do keep in mind, you don't have to get all this stuff if you want to duplicate this. You really just need some kind of surface, your key light. You could even go without a background light. You don't have to have all that stuff. This is just kind of an extreme scenario because I do so many of these videos, but you could duplicate this with a lot less gear. Stay tuned for more videos like this. I'm going to continue doing these studio series, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different other topics. We're also going to get a tour of this space. You can see what's over there and how I set this whole room up. Thanks for watching. You can find more stuff like this at DSLRvideoshooter.com. I'll see you guys over.